We are here with the first episode of the FFT podcast. Y'all know what it stands for if you listen to the trailer. So if you don't know what it stands for, go back and listen. So this is the FFT podcast, and I'm your host, Cool Dex. I'm here to bring y'all all first time experiences. Like I said, from anybody, any race, genre, person, nationality, doesn't matter, anybody. And of course, on episode 1, as I promised, it'll be about me. So I'm gonna talk to y'all for a little bit while I dig in my brain and see which first time experience I want to bring up. Cause like I said, we all got some good first time experiences, and I don't know yet. I don't know which one I'm gonna start with. So like I said, if you do want to be on the show, you can email me at dexterfreeman8@gmail.com, DEXTERFREEMAN, the number 8@gmail.com. Instagram, I'm barely be on Facebook or Twitter. Let me know if you want to get on any of the episodes. If you want to get on and stay anonymous, just let me know what you want to do, and we can make it happen. So also, like I said, this podcast is going to be normalizing the situation, putting the situation into perspective, and reality checking the situation. So once we do those three things throughout the situation, it's going to be part of the I guess I want to label it under self-care or healing, either or, because I want you to grow from that experience, move on, and help others that'll either go through that experience or been through it and didn't know how to move on. So let's so like I said, we can start all with the quarantine. It's rough, being in the house. This is all our first time really being in the house. Even our parents and our grandparents said, like, this is nothing they ever been through before. So we're all going through this together right now. This is all of our first time experience that we're all going through right now. And honestly, when we think of this quarantine, it could be worse. It really could be worse, but throughout this whole process, like, everybody should be, I know y'all tired of hearing it, but everybody should be getting stuff together or doing something or making something happen or building something or etc. But I'm telling you, that's something that needs to be done or people should really focus on. So that's like a first time experience, that we're all going through together. So now to get into my first time experience, I'm going to say my first time experience is when I was younger. I was probably not that young. I was probably about like 17 going on 18. And I was allowed to drive down to Camden and go stay the night. Go stay the night with a girl. Young as hell. I'm packing an overnight bag. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but before I was driving, I was catching the river line. I caught the river line to the Patco, and then from the Patco I got picked up, and then we was going from there. But it was different. It was a different experience. Like, that was my first time, in a sense, I would say, shacking up with somebody at a young age. That was, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Young, nose wide open. You know how I go. But it was a learning experience, because in that situation, I guess I could say, you were learning how to be a man. I was learning how to be a man at a young age. I had my own money, I had my own car, my own insurance. Well, I didn't have insurance. I was paying for it through my dad. But I was catching the train by myself. First time out the gate, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Catching the train, jumping on that adjoining train. If y'all caught trains and subways before, trying to jump on another one is hard figuring it out. But yeah, that was really one of my first times, like, really having to grow up and do it on my own, and nobody's really holding my hand. All I had to do was say was, hey, I made it. To whoever that let me go, I made it. And that, and like I said, you could say I want to say it was letting you know that, hey, look, I can do it on my own. Like that was letting me know that, hey, I want to do it on my own. Like I need to do this on my own. I can do it on my own. And in that situation, like I said, I learned a lot. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know how deep I want to get into certain situations. So I'm gonna kind of bounce around to my first time experiences throughout this episode. But hey, look, and then years later, it turned into my first time really living with somebody at a young age, and that was different because I always say this: staying with somebody with the option of going home, and living with somebody with that's the only option. There is no going home. That's it or nothing. Like that's the full commitment that both y'all made, and there's no going back. That's what y'all chose to do. And I always say I want to get those clear. Those are two different things. And so the first step that I do want to get to is normalizing the situation. You know, as young men, as we say, we get a little bit more freedom than the young ladies would do in the situation that I was in, as far as going to see somebody, going out of town for my first time, catching the train, driving, etc., whatever it may be. We get treated different in those situations, and I want to hear how you feel about, you know, parents allowing boys to go out of town versus girls, and not having to feel as worried about the male going out of town. So in this situation, like I said, to normalize it, that's something that needs to be taught at a young age. Like I feel like at my age, I needed to know how to drive down the highway, to get used to it, you know, to not be scared of it. I needed to learn how to catch the train and do it on my own and be amongst grown people that's getting off work every day. Maybe from Trenton area, junkies down there, you know, at the train station, you know, then you go to another town, you go to Camden, you know, that's, everybody knows how it is out there. So that's what I'm saying. So normalizing that situation, it was like, yeah, like I needed to do that at a young age. I needed to have that experience of going out on my own and handling it on my own and having my own money and being my own man at that young age. So I feel like that was normal. That's something that needs to be normalized. And then what was my what was my second one? I always forget the second one. Normalize it, put it in perspective, and then reality check it. So now putting this whole situation into perspective, like for me,